Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan, Samantha, our producer here. Hello, Sam.
Hi.
I like your shirt.
Thanks.
Is
The
that
oldie?
Wait, is that the one we're doing for the new beach party?
No, but it's similar, and the design on the back will be on the front, but it will be white instead of blue.
Yeah.
I just told everyone what we're doing. That's
fine.
only for the Twitch people. You have to be on Twitch or go to our YouTube channel to see what shirt I'm wearing.
Yeah, we're live on Twitch right now. Twitch.tv/TomandDan Live. You can watch all of that live on Twitch, or if you miss it, a couple hours later, we pop up on YouTube. It's a youtube.com/TomandDan Live.
Our featured merch item of the week is our Dad Jokes beer shirt.
And that's what Dan's wearing.
I'm wearing it right
only
now.
$15 on TomandDan.com right now.
Tom said we're only allowed to wear Tom and Dan gear while we're in studio.
Yeah, why did you make that rule?
He's trying to
It's
sling
good-
these shirts.
It's
weird.
good for marketing.
Yeah, but it's weird. I feel like we work at like I work at a Tijuana Flats. I walk without my name tag. I come in without my name tag. Where's your name tag?
Where's your flair?
Put your name tag on. Where's your rock out with your guac out name tag? You piece of ass.
If you work in a job in which you have a uniform, but you get paid minimum wage,
Oh, it sucks.
your uniform stinks.
Target.
Sure. Well,
Half
Target.
the time they'll make you pay for your own uniform.
yeah. What
Target
I mean,
uniform. Best Buy uniform.
When I worked at Champ Sports, we had to wear
God.
a uniform, which included blue, like they were made out
Like
of some
Dockers?
No,
Blue
it was-
navy bell bottoms.
they were made out of some weird cheapo material.
What were they?
Like
Windbreakers?
You haven't said what it
Yeah.
is yet. You just said it's a blue, and we're like, yeah.
I'm in shorts.
Oh,
like
shorts.
the
Basketball shorts?
they weren't basketball shorts. They were cheaper than that.
I don't like
and they weren't
athletic
cotton.
shorts. I need a short that the cloth cannot stretch and it cannot billow, and I'll tell you why. Because my cell phone will straight punch me in the D. I mean, because of the way I walk, I'm short, and I walk like
Yeah.
a little person. I waddle.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
short,
Uh-huh,
and
I
all
know.
short people walk like little people.
I see that.
I know. Everybody sees it. But I kind of waddle. You can't get away with. You can't get away for. You waddle though, but yours is just extreme stiffness.
yeah.
We
yeah,
walk
yeah.
exactly the same. If people see us walk side by side, it looks like I look like I'm a 1/8 version of you walking beside you. It just looks like a man walking with his doll.
Yeah. Or an emperor penguin walking with a puffin.
I will accept that.
Okay,
You know, I will accept that.
We penguin
Yeah.
walk, but big and little.
Yeah, we big and little penguin walk.
You know, you brought up short pockets. I wonder.
Short pockets. That's my new. You liked hot pockets.
Daddy short
Wait
pockets.
till you try my short pockets.
I wonder if
No, I
our-
can't walk with basketball shorts on. My Peloton shorts, they swing my iPhone, which is
Yeah.
so heavy. It's so
Yeah, they're
heavy.
giant. Well-
and it swings I have a magnet on mine because I got one of those mag back cases in my phone. So I put a heavy magnet. Feel how heavy my phone is.
Yeah. Oh wow! That's got some weight
That's
to
a
it.
sizable.
That's
That's a chunky boy.
yeah. And
But at
it's
least
a
yours
smaller.
doesn't come with bees. Are we talking about that?
Oh no, we've already forgotten that.
It feels
Okay.
heavier than I got the big
give
one
it to
too.
Sam.
Look
It's
at
so heavy.
This is the phone version of Tom and Dan.
Yeah. Feel how heavy my phone is. And it will whip into my D. It will, and it hurts. And I'm like, I can't wait till we get rid of these cell phones and just have it in our brains.
But I wonder.
I just want it in. Just put it in my brain.
I want a bee bot.
because I have the bigger. What is it called? Is it the?
You have the Max.
The Max.
You have
So,
the iPhone. What do you have? An iPhone 13 Pro Max?
It's something. I have no idea.
You don't have the
what-
14. Is the 14 out yet?
No, I think it's a 12. What is it? I don't even know how
I
to
have
tell.
no
Like,
idea.
it's got
I'm
the-
not an
that's
iPhone
Yeah,
gal.
it's a 12. You have a 12 Pro Max.
So anyway, it's bigger than my chubby's pockets can handle. Because
I know.
I like wearing short shorts.
Oh, you're gonna get the belt loop holder. Yeah.
No,
Get
Yeah,
away.
I'll
know
never
what?
get that.
Get the holder, the clamp.
Come on.
Here-
Get a clip, chip clip, phone, chip clip.
Here's why I'll never get it. Because it's not because
Never
of-
gonna get it, never gonna get it.
I don't want to look like a super nerd dad, which I don't. Is because I'll never remember to wear it, like my watch or anything.
Yeah.
Like at first, it requires wearing a belt, but then it also requires
A
me
watch is a belt for your wrist. Changed my mind.
Oh, you're gonna turn into the dads with the pocket in the front, and then you're gonna put your phone in the pocket in the front.
No, his phone's too big. It would droop his pocket. Like mine, if I put this in the front of my shirt and pull my shirt off, it's so heavy.
I end up putting my cell phone in my back pocket like a
Oh.
hot girl.
I
That's
saw
how-
you doing
yeah,
that.
because
I saw it. When girls do that,
my pants are too tight to fit in the front.
Most girls, you know, it used to be you'd get a chaw ring in the back of your jeans. Now girls get a phone ring in the back of their jeans where you can tell whether or not they had a pop socket on their phone. Some tight jeans.
What were you talking about before this whole?
I don't
cell
know.
phone
I'm in
topic?
tangent mode
Clean
today.
versus hoard.
No, we
okay.
hadn't gotten there yet,
No?
but I like
Yeah.
the way you're thinking. You
Well,
just throw it out
uniforms.
there and we'll go for it.
Oh, uniforms.
Work
Yes.
uniforms.
Oh, yeah. I'm glad you remembered. So, my Champs uniform always stunk like BO because
You gotta wash it, man.
No, synthetic materials, though, too.
yes, cheap. Okay, so
Cheap polos. We had a batch of
cheap
polos.
uniforms stink.
Oh.
Butler ordered a cheap batch of polos, and then he got the front.
They hold your BO in.
He got the front embroidered, but it was so big. You know, like when you do big embroidery. Those of you listening to this will know
Thick
what I
and
mean.
heavy, yeah.
Thick and heavy embroidery, but you try to do something. Embroidery is meant for like a small cursive name on a patch. Sam.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, or
Darnell.
just a patch that you put on something
Work shirt.
rigid.
Yeah, you put it on like a work shirt for like a good mechanic. You know, keep America running.
You put it on a cotton polo. What will happen is that one dryer will taco the embroidered logo.
So then you have this big bunchy logo, like it's like been killed on the front of your shirt.
Yeah. The
And
heat from the dryer melted it taco.
And nothing can change it. It has
Yeah.
to stay. That's in fact, the sad thing is that's the new logo for your business. You have to go with that.
So when I worked for Champs, I had this super cheap uniform, which is blue shorts and a polo, but it was a polo made out of like this material that held BO, and it wasn't comfortable. It was like
BO holding technology.
it was like plastic almost. It was like a plastic polo.
That first run of
Plastic
polos.
polo.
You know,
That's what
it
I
was
was
like a
getting to.
dry
The first
fit.
run of polos, the gray one, the light gray one that you guys have. I tried to wear that the other night because I got out the iron and I flattened out the embroidery, and I was like, it doesn't look that bad. But I put it on, and instantly it started just reeking of BO. It was like activated.
So
I activated it.
and why it stunk so bad is because I was poor, and you were asking me to wear a uniform to work every day, and I couldn't work without it. You had to wear a uniform.
How many of them did they give you? Just one pair, one pair of shorts, one shirt?
No, they would.
They got to give you a 5 and 5.
They would give you multiple, but sometimes they wouldn't have your size. So they would be like, "Oh, when the next shipment comes in, we'll get you another large."
Man,
because
don't even tell me about that. No
Yeah.
one ever had my size. When I got soccer jerseys,
yeah.
I always
Well,
got a big fat Chungus jersey.
It was just-
always.
Or I have the was a large, and then there was a lot of larges, so everybody
a
would
lot of
you know,
large.
you know.
Over a chance.
You're gonna get an XL, sir.
You want to be the extreme to get the size. You
Yeah.
want to be 5X or extra small. They'll always have your size. Except for
Exactly.
5X. But
if you're like a little tiny white girl, like a tiny little, like Crystal Patishaw's sister, always find your size.
yeah.
Always.
Well, because everybody has extra smalls or smalls laying
Teeny
around.
tiny.
It's the most shirt we have.
I would
right?
beg to differ on that one.
Well, I'm
Well,
because-
we don't
As a
order
grown
enough.
woman,
We don't
Yeah,
order
yeah,
enough.
yeah.
you
know?
have to shop in like the teen section because nothing fits you in the
You're
women's
right, yeah,
section.
yeah.
I know. I go there to shop for my wife. I get dirty looks.
So, because I was bad at life and poor, that led me to forgetting to wash my uniform. And so I would leave uniforms in my truck.
No.
And then-
Can I
man.
make it a dinner?
And
for
in a
this?
panic, I would wear them and they'd stink like BO all
This
day
is
long.
coming from me, and I know you guys think I'm a neat freak, but if I worked at Champs, I'd never wash my uniform. I'm working at Champs.
Well, I would
That's
forget
so
to.
disrespectful to your coworkers, though. They got to
It
be
is.
next to you while you stink.
Well, they
just
stink
for
too. Because guess what?
Yeah.
All of us were horrible at life, and we all had something in common. We worked at Champs, which meant something. And
Only
what,
the manager didn't stink,
and
right?
what it
He
meant
or she was all right.
is that we'd forget to wash our uniforms, and we'd wear them, the old ones that were laying around in our truck or our cars,
Yeah.
because we weren't responsible enough to be diligent to make sure they were clean at all times.
Most of the time, I
We'd-
see people putting on their shirt as they're walking in. I'm driving through Winter
Yeah.
Park the other day. I saw a guy putting on his Qdoba shirt as he walked in.
So
There is a brand new Qdoba over there. Brand
All right.
new.
you'd have to wear an undershirt underneath your
Keep the BO off
Yeah.
your body.
Yes, but the problem is, and this is what, you know what, I worked in stock for both my corporate jobs in retail, right? At Home Depot and at Champs, right? And at
They
both
put the smartest people at Stalking.
at both jobs, we had to wear the same uniform. The people that worked in the front with the customers had to wear.
That's stupid.
Well, that's what I kept arguing to my managers, and they didn't get it. And they were saying everybody has to wear the same uniform. But I was like, yeah, I understand you have that uniform for presentation for your customers.
Yeah,
but
because
we
in front
work,
of house, sure.
we work in the back. So can we just wear a white T-shirt? We're sweating back there.
Right.
Like I'm wearing this
I
plastic.
did hate that when you worked in back stock and they made you
It
wear
didn't
the
used to be
company
that way.
shirt.
I blew my mind one summer. I remember going to a Winn-Dixie, the one there in Brandywine in DeLand, if you're in DeLand, happen to be listening to this. My hometown of DeLand, Florida. The Winn-Dixie there that was by my house, it blew my mind. One night I remember going in like really late to go and get my mom and dad something, like microwave popcorn or something my mom wanted. And I zip up there. And I remember going in, it's like going in right as they're closing, right? And then I see all these dudes like setting up. And they're all just like in normal, like at the time it would have been like gotcha shorts or Jimmy's.
Yeah.
Mistakenly, people call them Jimmy Z's. They're not called that. They're called Jimmy's. The Velcro shorts. And then I'm like, what are all these dudes? And then I realized that I'm like, oh, all these guys are they're the late night stalkers, and they're all in normal clothing, normal shoes. It used to be that way.
I think it's because, well, two things. At Champs, sometimes like employees wouldn't show up to work, and they bring the stock crew
On
out
the floor,
to help.
yeah, I'm familiar.
Yeah. And then so that was one reason. And then for Home Depot, I was there and back in what was it? 2000.
Yeah, you were original Homer.
2002. Or whenever they transitioned, they used to not do night stalking. They used to do it during the day, during work
That was a
hours.
David Duchovny show, wasn't it? Night stalking.
But people started
silk stockings.
The employees started running over customers' feet and like knocking things off and landing
rough around the edges a little.
I think they ran over one person's feet and
you
crushed
get
a
one
good
mirror on the front of your work boots,
and they sued them crazy. So then they're like, no more running equipment during the day. We're doing it all at night. And so we were the original crew that was trained to go around the country, at Home Depots. And then, but I made the argument. I'm like, we don't see customers. We don't have to wear our apron and our collared shirts.
Is that the reason now at Home Depot, if they have to do anything on an aisle?
They block the whole
aisle.
aisle.
Okay, can we talk about that for a second? I get so excited. It might as well be the Disney Main Street Electrical Parade. When I'm in a Lowe's and they start closing down the aisle and I see the equipment start to come out and they pull those little baby gates, the orange baby gates, and they lock them in. Oh, me and Maisie, we're so stupid. We're like, yes, yes, get the one.
It's because what happened is like these home improvement stores were at one time filled with actually real men that knew what they were doing, right? Mm-hmm. So like
when do you think that ended?
I'll tell you, when it became more and more corporate, right? Where prices
I want a
got
date,
less and
though.
less.
Is it 98, 97?
Well,
2001?
There was a sweet time back in the housing recession in like 2008 through 10 where everybody who worked in construction was forced to go work for Lowe's and Home Depot, and there was real life electricians and like carpenters working.
Yeah, they would actually say things like, "Well, I can
like
actually,
they knew.
you need a little help putting that in. I can give you my number."
Yeah. Like they actually could give you like this. There would be an old man that worked in lumber that had 30 years of carpentry experience that could actually tell you how to route things. And like,
what do you do in real life?
Like,
I build canoes
with
my hand.
This guy could frame a house. You know what I'm saying? He worked in lumber.
Like detailed, intricate woodworking.
There was a guy in plumbing section that actually was a plumber.
Yeah,
like
master plumber.
He could tell you everything how to fix it. And then
I've always thought there should be one guy in head of the department, should be like the head of the department. Like you go into Home Depot and you go to paint. There should be a dude there, and the guy that's in charge of all the dudes that don't know anything should at least be a paint guy. That's like, I'm a master, I've been painting 30 years.
Now it's a 20-year-old that is watching how to waste time at work TikTok videos.
Yeah, I like those too.
That knows absolutely nothing about anything in that store.
I know.
Like they know what a hammer is. That's it.
But they don't know where you can find it.
No,
So
they have to
now-
look. They have to look it up on the Lowe's website. They were trained that if anybody asks them questions,
I like that.
The
I'll be
how-to-
honest with you. I like that.
So then people ask me, like, where
what
are the...
there was a master electrician.
Nah.
But you know where he
Give
is
me the
now? Now you order all the parts for what you need to fix for your electricity on Amazon, and then you go to YouTube and you find that same master electrician who's now making his thousands of dollars on the internet, and you watch his videos on how to do it. You
Well-
give him a couple clicks, and that's how he makes his money.
There's jobs out there, so these people, like skilled workers, don't have to work at Lowe's anymore. All we're getting is minimum wage. People who hate their job and don't know.
Don't blame them. Blame the company. They should be the ones training them. Because
Ah.
when I worked in like a
mean-
big department store and people would ask me like things from other departments, I had no idea about what else was going on in that store. I strictly stuck to my department. That was it.
Yeah, shoes.
Yeah, that's it.
And that's what I saw the transition into was it was just I remember I had to work out in the plumbing section.
Right. They just throw you in there.
Would
Yeah.
you get nervous?
Throw you
if
to the wolves.
Like knowing you the way I think I do, so they
Oh,
say,
yeah, I was nervous.
"Hey man," they're like, "Man, you're on plumbing. You're on the
You're like,
floor
please,
today."
no one asked me a
Yeah,
question
and-
today.
because I know.
Oh, yeah.
I'd hide. I would go. I would stand at the end.
If somebody says,
I'll tell
"Sir,
you.
sir, can I?" Would
Go
you be
behind
like,
the aisle.
"Would you be like,
I knew the ones that were looking to ask
Yeah,
questions
you
too.
can
and
tell, 'cause
I'd be
they're
like,
looking
"Oh," and then I would just avoid. Like I'd see them because they'd be confused.
"No one's
Yeah.
best here"?
They'd be looking around like panicked, and
You're
then,
like hiding your vest in the shelves.
yeah,
Yeah.
there would be holding
me,
something. I'd be like,
excuse me,
"Oh my
sir,
god!" Yeah, and then every once in a while they'd get me, and I'd be like, "Oh god." And then I go over to them and they'd be handing a wet piece of something that they
Oh.
ripped out of the toilet, and then they would ask. They'd be asking me complicated plumbing questions.
poop?
Like they're like how, and then instead of saying I don't know, I just make up an answer.
That makes you the bad one.
Yeah, because here's why.
Like, would it be complicated or simple? Because I want to try and gauge the amount of damage you would do to these people.
I'd
Because if it's
BS
a
my
complicated, like, if you know, you could spin a yarn.
Oh, ask me ask me any toilet question.
Okay, so so basically, what it's doing is it's filling up too much the top.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel. It
doesn't stop?
It doesn't stop filling up, and then I have to manually let the water go out.
Okay, I see what your problem is. That's a float problem. Basically, the float keeps your toilet from overflowing. There's
Do I
an
need to
overflow.
replace that?
Yeah, the over in this section.
Aisle
There's
17.
all our toilet parts or whatever.
Yeah.
And then so you need a new float and all the guts. The whole kit is right
Should
there.
I buy the kit?
Yeah, just buy the whole kit and then replace everything. Because
What if I don't need all that stuff?
Because
You'll need it eventually.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, ma'am.
And every
It's
5
nice
years,
to- is this your assistant?
No,
or is this-
she's a random customer.
Oh,
Yeah, why
wow.
don't you mind
you
your
know what
business?
you put out of
Yeah.
this? You Karen.
This guy doesn't know what the hell he's
Hold
talking
on,
about.
hold on, let me get my phone out. I'm gonna TikTok this Karen. who's
That's
butting
easy.
into my stuff. You don't know me,
Oh
lady.
yeah, I'll get my phone out and record you
Sovereign
back.
citizen.
People would start
How'd we
asking
do?
me
How'd we do?
about like the pipe behind the drywall stuff and like pressure fitting stuff. I have no idea, and then I just BS my way through it. And because it was either that
You were very calm when you gave me that explanation. It was sort of believable. I
Yeah,
was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
could be-
That's-
and it was also
that's what con artists do.
It was also
Yep.
vague enough for me to believe it when you're like,
Yeah.
this happens all the time. Just get the whole kit.
I'm just BS. I don't even know if you need that. I don't even know nothing. I just just make it up as I go. And
wow.
and why I would do that is not because I'm a mean person or because I want this person to buy
It's survival.
to waste
It's
his money.
only survival.
No.
It is
it's-
though, right? Because
well,
you just need to get out of that scenario.
yes, and it's laziness because the proper way to do it if I don't know the answer would be to go and I have to use there's a phone at the end of every aisle.
Oh,
and then,
I've always wanted to grab those.
and then you have to call the front desk and request for someone who does know what they're talking about. But guess what?
I need a non-idiot down here. Staff, please.
Guess what? There's only one that works in the whole store,
And he's busy.
And
Yeah.
he's busy. So it would take
What's
a
he
long.
doing?
And then you got to small talk with the customer until they get there.
Oh,
Yeah.
you got to wait for the manager, the man with all the knowledge.
And then the person's always mad that it's taking too long, and there's a whole awkward scenario where they're like, you know what, this is ridiculous. I have to wait this long, like, and then I have to apologize. Like, so I just make up an answer, like, get the hell away from me, please.
Yeah.
Just leave I just don't want to see them in front of me anymore, and I want to continue hiding and wasting
It
time.
would have been easier for you to
By
be.
the way-
You should have done the quintessential. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm helping somebody else track something down, but I will get somebody to come right back to you, and then you just leave.
Yeah.
There is I was reading some article about like there's TikTok content about wasting time at work, and then I just read some sort of there like Conan O'Brien's assistant, like since 2009, is like this long term.
Yeah, he's
and-
got all kinds of bits with that guy.
Well, this is a girl.
Oh, I'm thinking about the guy.
This is a personal assistant, I guess, and she wrote a book of like how to waste time at work or whatever. And it seems to be a trend about wasting time at work and like not working that hard and like what are you doing? You need to figure out just how to do the minimal,
just get by.
the least amount of stuff. And I'm like, wait, I was doing this back in the early 2000s. I'm an
people
early
in the chat
adopter.
room are popping off about her. Is her name Sona?
I have no idea. I didn't read the whole article. I just looked at it and then it kept going. But it seemed to be a trend of like a big movement about how to waste time.
Yeah, I'm not like
at
that
your
at
corporate
all.
job. It's and I know
I'm not wired like that.
people are going to get mad and be like, "Oh, you should learn how to work hard." And I agree. You're never going to get anywhere unless you work hard.
I don't think they're seeing the humor
in it. Yeah, because
and the sarcasm that they're actually in there. Is that I mean you do need to think about yourself. You can't work yourself to death.
But also, there are jobs where you don't want to work your way up the corporate ladder. This is just a job that pays you, and you are going to leave.
Right.
Like, in fact, working there your entire life is the worst possible thing you could think of. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's what when I worked at Champs, I didn't want to work.
Well, you had other options.
I didn't want to become a manager. I didn't want to become the stock manager. Like I could have. If I expressed interest and worked and then I could have been like maybe a manager of the store and work your way out. Didn't want to do that. Didn't want to work. I didn't for Home Depot my entire life. You know, I wanted to get paid.
You had drive though,
and not be fired.
But you had drive to start a company. I mean, you're a bad example.
No. But working for these companies, I didn't want to work hard. I hated them. I hated the company. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's what I think people are losing in the disconnect of they see these people wasting times at the corporate jobs and they're mad and they're like labeling, oh, that's a millennial. They don't know how to work hard. No, they're smarter than if they worked hard for nothing. That would be stupid for them.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to move up. Now, if I wanted to be a manager of the store at Home Depot and make that my career, then of course you got to work hard. Then
Sure.
it would be counterintuitive doing nothing. But if I just want to work at Home Depot and get paid my weekly salary, I'm gonna do the least amount of work possible.
And it's also their right if you're doing that to say, hey, you fire you or step it up. Yeah, I mean,
but that's why I would pretend
I've
to work.
I've never been the type of person where if somebody had a job where they were making a ton of money and it was easy, where I looked at that and I'm like, oh God, I hate that person. It's like, no, good for them.
Well,
I'm glad they found the loophole.
No, but we're not even making money. It's working for crappy retail. Like Sam knows, like you work for a corporation you don't like.
Luckily, I never had to do that. Is a very odd thing that I have. A lot of people don't know this, and I'll say it because I don't say it a lot. But this is my.
You don't have this experience.
No, I think I've done this before. This is my third job.
Yeah. That's rare, you know, and then the jobs before that weren't for
I
big
had two other ones. I was a
corporations.
soccer linesman, and I worked at the City Hall of DeLand, Florida as a switchboard operator.
Small city, like you're working for someone personally.
Oh, dude, it was
it's
like working at Mayberry RF. Literally working for a tiny... And it was so nice, and everybody, all the ladies I worked with are funny, and the mayor, you know, the quintessential drunk mayor comes in, hold his calls.
Yeah,
you know, it was awesome.
Then you develop relationships.
Probably
and
my
that's
favorite job I ever had.
That's different than you work for retail or some soul-sucking fast food or like some, you know,
No, it was
like Darden
nice.
restaurants. You're just
God.
I
You're a
hate
number.
this
You don't
place.
matter.
Like,
Yeah, you don't
and
matter.
you're like, I don't want to make this my career. So I just want to do the bare minimum. And now, of course, and this has always been a thing, though. And like, I feel like
this is nothing new. That's why that whole argument of like people being like people don't want to work or service industry, like fast food,
it's
crappy. It's always been that way.
It's just we're seeing it, and that's what confuses people. Is like we didn't see it in 2003. I was doing this with the Grizz. Me and the Grizz made it a game to see how little work we could do
Well,
for
then
Home
you did
Depot.
see it because you were doing it.
Yeah, no, but if we could make TikTok videos back then, we would have.
Oh, of course.
You know,
So, like, a lot of
it'd been
people-
easy to find us. So
Here's a great example.
Fire those guys.
Social media was still relevant, but not as relevant or at least leading the charge as it is today, right? Tom and I would play a game, and he would always win because he's better at this and less enmeshed and less connected. We would play the game towards the end of our tenureship on the morning show. We play a game to see who could not talk.
The longest.
Who cannot talk
On a
the longest? Now,
radio talk show.
keep in mind that I am the executive producer and he's a main character on a talk show. But our game was who can not say a word for the entire 5 hours. The entire broadcast.
We never make it the whole show, but we made
you
it
got
like 3.
damn close, dude. The only thing that stopped him from doing a
I had to
full
do my
5.
bit.
No, somebody asked you a question. Somebody asked you a question and forced you to get on the mic. There were times when you just they'd ask him questions and you just give a thumbs up to try to win the bit. and I'd be like, God damn it, he's good. He is good.
So we were doing the same thing, and now it's like, oh, this generation is they're lazy. They don't want to work. It's like, no one wants to work. Who wants to? Like, I'll work for things that benefit me.
Yeah.
Like this company. Like I'll put us all.
Oh, it's way easier to shovel coal here for sure. Yes.
And I'll put all our work ethic for this company up against anybody else.
Oh, yeah.
Because we all work our asses off, and
we see the benefit of it. Yeah.
Nonstop. You know what I'm saying? So like that's different, and I have the work, and I respect work ethic, and I respect people's ability to, and I truly believe that's what will bring you success in life is having some sort of drive and work ethic, and I try to instill that in my sons, and hopefully they get it sooner or later.
They will, yeah.
But I also think it's funny if you work for a job, especially a giant billion-dollar corporation, and you see how little work you could do for that job, especially if you don't want to work your way up, right? Who cares?
Yeah.
It's meaningless because and a lot of people, sometimes a corporation forces you to think that way because you start off trying to work hard and then they beat that out of you.
Well,
like
I had a little bit of that.
So you work hard and then you realize nothing matters because it all depends on the relationships and the manager, and the corporation is constantly trying to cut budgets and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So they're working against your drive, and like they're not. In all these small like retail companies or whatever, they don't have the best management, so it's not like they're really pushing you to get the best out of yourself or like showing you some sort of direction.
Really, how much control do they have on that anyway, right? I mean, at the end of the day, you're going to do what you're going to do, and you're only capable of like whatever you believe in.
It's just a bunch of minimum wage worker ants that the giant, and this is how companies work, is like how to get the most out of the least, right? And so then you realize that, and you're like, well, if I don't want to work my way up in this company, then I'm not gonna. Why am I gonna work my ass off every day? Who cares? Especially,
and even if you do, and sometimes you'll get burned, especially when you were younger. I'll speak for myself, where you will bust your ass and you will do a good job because you think, well, maybe I'll get a raise, and then it's like, no raise, or you get like 10 cents.
I would also let me add one thing though.
They're too corporate to actually give you a big raise. They have to there's minimums that
Sure.
Anyway.
But I'd like to add one thing to it is if you are in this position like we were, we gave you an example. If you are doing this, if you're wasting time at work, I think if you are truthfully wasting time at work, but then you do get fired because you are wasting time at work, I don't think you can complain.
No, hell no.
But I do see people do that. You can't have both. If you're gonna waste time at work, that's your right. They have just as much right to fire you and get rid of you. But then 100%. Later you can't go back and be you can't do that. That's not how it works. It's a decision and a choice you made.
But I say this, and if you go back and talk to anybody, I would put money on this. Any manager that I used to have, they probably wouldn't even remember me because I just try to fly underneath the radar. But they would say I'm a good employee.
Yeah.
And because I would,
I believe
you didn't cause problems. You did your job.
Yeah, I'd show up. I didn't constant and most of the time you could be a good employee and just have to show up.
Yeah.
And what you do at work is just do the bare minimum.
Yeah.
You're
right.
I would have to bring in all the shoes and put them on the shelf. That had to be done, so I would do that. But the problem is, I even asked them, I'm like, well, hold on, I could do this in half the time. Can I still get paid for a full day? I can do it faster. And they're like, no. And then I'm like, well, what motivation?
You get paid by the hour, yeah.
So I'm going to do this and ride out the clock. And they're like, yep. Because they were riding out the clock too. Because everybody's stuck in this corporate, BS. And then maybe one person cares, but that they only care to try to get to the top or get to the next position because they're store manager or whatever, and everybody underneath them, they're just
who cares?
They show up to work and then
My mind wandered because you said I have to put the shoes on the shelf. It has to get done. Shoes on the shelf made me go to elf on a shelf, and then I got anxiety thinking that's coming up, and I'm going to have to get my elf on the shelf. Then
that's a long way.
Then my brain spiraled to, I should play a prank on my wife and get the Elf on the Shelf out today. So tomorrow morning it appears, and then she'll look at me and I'll look at her, and be full knowing that I've set this thing in motion, and now she'll have to do it and not touch it again. Is that a good prank or is that a bad prank? I think it's a good prank.
I mean,
I'm going to get the Elf on the Shelf out tonight, and I'm going to set him elaborate. I'm talking elaborate Lego house, cotton balls everywhere. I'm going to set the Elf on the Shelf out, and then my wife, full knowing that my wife is now going to have to do this until January 1st.
Yeah,
too early to do it?
No, I mean, yes, it's too
a
early.
Good,
but
and then
it's a good
leave
prank,
a little note with the elf saying, "Couldn't wait for Christmas, came early," right?
Yeah, although Maisie's probably at the age now, she's gonna be like, "Wait a minute, like, Elf wouldn't come this early. Like something's off. Like you know, they start like
oh, you think so?
Using her reasoning because she's super smart.
She's pretty smart.
I'm looking at Elf on the Shelf and I'm like, my sons are right at the cusp of like, if we do this year, they're gonna be like, nah. They're gonna start questioning it.
It's also like a cheap plastic doll. Like they know what it anyway.
Yeah.
You want to do a couple of voicemails? We got limited time. We got like 10 minutes to kill in this one because we went a little later than I thought we were going to go. Let's just jump into some voicemail messages. I was kind of digging through these earlier today. This one caught my ear because it mentions someone that we mentioned, a DJ friend of ours.
Hey, Tom and Dan, Sam. Recently you mentioned Dan Stinnett, Sideshow Dan, on one of the, I believe it was ACT when you interviewed the radio uncle. Dan was a instructor at the Northeast State School that used to be here in town that you all have made fun of numerous times.
Connecticut School of Broadcasting.
So. Anyway, he and I got along really well, and he took me on a tour of the Real Radio Studios and whatnot during that time. I'm just kind of curious if you have stayed in contact with him. Do you know where his whereabouts are, and so on and so forth. Anyway, thanks.
Look him up, Sam. Dan Stinnett. See what he's up to.
How do you spell that last name?
I don't know. He was always a very nice man to me, Sideshow Dan. Now I will say, if we're playing the game, and because he was in radio, I always think we're going to Google the name, and then the person's going to be behind bars, because that's just the way it goes. You and I were having this conversation last week. I'm like, there is a 50-50 whenever you Google somebody that you worked with in radio, that the chances are that the person is an unsavory character. I'm not saying he is. I'm saying there's a possibility that he is.
You know, it's funny, too, like taking a tour of a radio studio.
Used to be a big deal.
Well, because you're like, look how much equipment it takes to record someone's voice.
My God, this whole building is just for recording one man.
There's like a gigantic board with 10,000 sliders and then like stacks of computers. And then now it's like, oh, you just need some microphones and a MacBook Pro. It's like, that's it.
Not even. You don't even need that.
And then some boxes.
You can do it on your iPhone now. They have like a little rig you plug into your phone.
And then you're listening to it, you're like, that's pretty good.
Yeah, sounds really good. Well, if you know what you're doing, like if you're an audio engineer and you're given like simple tools, like you know how to maneuver it to sound incredible.
The mic and that box you gave me, and I plugged in, like, if I could do it, and then I plugged it into your old laptop.
That was great.
I listened.
And that's an old laptop. That's not even a good laptop.
The only way I heard the quality of that is I listened through, like, Melissa's videos, and then, like,
it was good.
And then I'm like, it's good quality.
It's good enough for her to cut it up.
But it's also, like, if that's all that it takes is a Rode mic, and what is that box you gave me?
Oh, dude, it was on sale. It was $98.
What is it?
Oh, it's a little Focusrite 1i1.
What is that box you gave me?
Yeah, so, like...
I'm glad you don't know what it is.
A microphone that any acoustic
guitarist would use. It was a $90 microphone and a $90 box. For $200, you had studio quality sound.
And then
truthfully,
you plug it into a laptop, and that's it.
That's it.
And so that's pretty amazing.
Every comedian,
comparatively to the giant.
Yeah.
All the equipment and stuff it used to be impressive to be like, whoa, this is what it all takes to do this show.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, just a box.
Nothing on Stinnett, Dan Stinnett? No.
I can't find it, but I also don't know that I'm trying different spellings of the last name, and I'm not finding anything.
I'm going to guess he moved away. But he was always a nice dude. I'm trying to think of all the... Man, I wish one day I should try and compile a list of all the wacky names of people I used to work with. All of them. Because there's tons. I mean, just tons of different names.
Yeah.
Couple dozen boners.
Yeah, well, because of radio.
Almost every animal you can think of.
I wonder who's got more nicknames, radio or the military?
Military. Yeah, military.
I don't know.
They can get away with more because they can have better names. In the military, you can have some vile names. You can be like donkey and then the S word. Okay, who's that? That's donkey S.
Yeah, you're right. You can go
and you can say it.
Yeah.
Get over here, donkey S. Give me 50 blue shoes.
But I don't know. I've rarely met a person in radio that uses their real name except for you. That's
Jim Phillips.
Jim Phillips.
Jimmy didn't used to, but he does now.
Yeah. No, it doesn't count. Yeah, I'm talking about getting into it.
From the original.
Yeah. Although you got into, weren't you some like
no, I was
Dan the Man?
No, I was
Dan
never,
the Man.
you know what?
What was that old story?
I am very glad that I have never been. Oh no! Now does that count? That was college. College radio.
Didn't Ed Till call you like
Young Dan?
Young Dan. Yeah,
this is Ed Till. Young Dan.
So that counts? That still counts.
No, I don't want to be Young Dan. Ed Till gave me that stupid name just because he wanted me to. Daniel, Ed Till here. I'm going to send my intern, Dan, young Dan, down to Cuban Sandwiches to Go on Lee Road to bother Shaquille O'Neal's biological father, who is standing down there now with his gold medal from the 1994 Olympic Games. Jesus Christ, Dad, I don't want to do this. Go down there and yell at him.
Did you go down there?
Yeah, I went down there.
Did you yell at him?
I did.
What did you say to him?
I said, "Hey, get out of here!" You know, like, "Hey, you get out!" And he was like, he's such a nice man, such a nice man.
So he's standing at Cuban Sandwiches.
Yeah, to go holding up Shaquille O'Neal's Olympic gold medal, and I'm yelling at him, and then all I can think is that song. He's just showing it to people.
Oh, was there a crowd?
Yeah, there was a crowd of people. He was like there and showing it to everybody.
Why is it Cuban Sandwiches?
Don't know. Still don't know. Biological didn't bother. Remember that song? Biological didn't bother? I think that's who he was talking about, right? No. I was talking to his adopted father, I think. Sarge, right? Wasn't that his adoptive father? Sarge? I don't think I was talking to his biological dad. I think I was talking to his adoptive dad, who's very beloved to him. But whoever it was had his gold medal from the Olympics and had it at Cuban Sandwiches to Go. Fantastic cafe con leche. Sam
did a difficult thing where she went from her maiden name to her married name and through her career. And you made the transition pretty well. What?
I don't know.
What?
I felt like that was going somewhere else.
No.
I'm like, what's about to happen here? I feel like I was getting set up.
I thought you'd it was. Did you think about like, hey, I'm Samantha Rogers to Har?
No, not
I
really.
never think of her as
because I also got married. Number one, before I got hired full time here, and before I started my own podcast, so I didn't even like really cross my. Plus, I was trying to get rid of that last name for a lot of reasons.
That is a generic. I like that though, Samantha Rogers. It's just a.
Well, I remember I wrote checks to Rogers at one point.
Yes, you did. And you spelled it with a D.
Yeah,
like Aaron Rodgers. Yeah.
What?
You wrote her first 3 checks to Aaron Rodgers.
Samantha Rogers.
Well, no, that my A's look like O's.
Yeah, but you also forgot the N in Samantha.
Yeah.
You also, in the subject line for what the check's for, you wrote Green Bay Boobies. Doesn't even make sense.
Let's play one more voicemail.
All right, this is an easy one. Man, the number of voicemails that I got about this from this past week's Friday Free Show.
I have not boofed my wife next to a chimney. Thank you.
And what?
Next to a chimney.
Yeah,
remember we talked about that.
Yeah, I said everybody's boofed their wife outdoors next to a burning embers chimney.
So who?
And man, a lot of people saying, a lot of emails from people that saying that I am in the wrong here. Apparently, not everyone has coitus outside by a fire. Apparently, I am. I did a very rare act.
Well, I think that's because both now. It seems like it should be skewed towards most people do bang outside because you and Sam have done it. multiple times apparently.
Well, 2 out of 3, right?
Yeah. So
we'd have to ask Tony Palmignotti. But I'm gonna guess.
Oh, he's done it all the
I'm
time,
gonna guess that he has.
Just from time
Yeah.
alive. And the cruises, like,
But
my
I can
God,
hear
the
it right
cruises.
now. I can hear it right now.
Yeah, you may be right. He's pretty conservative.
It looks like, according to LinkedIn, Dan Stinnett's in D.C.
Oh, he's in D.C.?
Yeah.
I didn't know who you were talking
Broadcast-
about. When you were saying that, like, what the hell are you talking about?
Broadcast engineer.
Oh, wow.
Oh, still in the business.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, most of us are lifers. I mean, you could say I'm a lifer. It's not like I'm not still doing it.
No, but you need to do like traditional radio for like a big.
I'll never do that again.
Yeah, well, eventually, like the Adderall will blow my heart up, and then
Is that what's gonna happen? I've been having my. Remember, I said a couple weeks ago that I thought I got rid of my dizzy spells.
Yeah.
Oh, they're back.
No, I knew you're never gonna
Bigger
get rid of
and better than ever.
Whatever problems
Oh, it's
you're
bad.
going through,
They're bad.
they're never.
I had one on Friday.
Yeah,
It's rubbing off on me.
I've not rubbed off on you, ma'am. Send that to Mo and itemize it. What?
Yeah. Your dizzy spells are anxiety, and
No,
that's
they're worse
never,
than they're worse than ever.
That's never going nowhere.
Good thing I had a self-driving car. I started passing out of my car and I just hit the stalk twice and it just drove me home.
Yeah.
Passed out.
Yeah. Started tunnel vision.
Yeah. I was just like, drive me
Top
home.
Gun.
Drive me home. Let's do one more. I'll just continue and get these out of the way.
Hey guys, so you're talking about boofing outdoors, and I have not boofed outdoors unless the cave at a mini golf course counts. Is that outdoors? Because if so, then yes, I have boofed outdoors, but never by a chimney.
Come on, man.
Yeah, see,
The cave at Pirates Cove.
Yeah.
That's a small cave.
And that's more adventurous than in the middle of the woods or Daniel's backyard.
I agree.
My backyard is. There's nothing happening back there.
Yeah. Your own backyard is private, and then like Sam out in the woods, she's in the middle of nowhere. So it's like that's more private than in the mini golf cave. Like people could be walking by their
kids
children.
could walk.
Yeah, their children. They were
Yeah,
don't
sex
do that.
offender.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
If you got
But
caught
apparently that happened a lot, right? Like, I mean,
Theme
I don't
parks and
remember.
stuff, yeah.
I think, and man, people are gonna get mad when I say this, but I think that like kids seeing people having sex and then the people having sex being charged is a relatively new idea, because when I was a kid, you wanted to see people. You wanted to catch people having sex in a mini golf cave, and then you would see it, and then you would tell nobody about it, and it was your little secret, your little tidbit of the future, what you knew, was coming up in your life, right?
Yeah.
And then those people would harmlessly think they got one over on everybody and go home not thinking that they were sexual offenders, but yes, thinking that they were exhibitionists within the mini golf cave. So there was a harmlessness to it. Man, you affected me last week. You told a story about the overhead projector or the YouTube video, the teacher, when the YouTube video, they were playing like an educational YouTube video, and then it bounced to a non-educational.
A parody of the Giving Tree thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and now I'm paranoid now. I'm like, you're scared the hell out of me now.
But why are you paranoid?
Like my phone, remember, also Tommy Lee's wiener last week, he put the picture up, and Maisie's looking at my Instagram, and she saw it, she goes, he's naked.
Oh, yeah.
It's just there's too much to police now. It used to be a harmless thing. You didn't have, now you got to lock it all down.
Well, I will tell you that if you don't erase your history, because my sons grab my phone all the time.
Yeah.
And they'll just start, like, they think it's a game, because we've always had this game where they'll grab my phone and then try to, like, look up video games, and then I'll chase them around and try to grab it from them, and it'll be like,
but really, they're holding it, and it's just full-on Pornhub in their hand.
Well, now I'm cognizant of where I leave my phone, and also, like, if there's any recently visited sites that pop up, they could click on it and then instantly be exposed.
It goes right to you.
You don't use like incognito mode?
No, I never got
I'm
into
too
that.
lazy to type Pornhub in for the 9 millionth time.
Yeah. I need to type X and then it comes up.
Exactly, XP.
Yeah.
I know they know where to go.
Or just go
Hope
to
your kids aren't into X-Men.
or just
love
go
X-Men.
recently visited sites, and it's right there.
Yeah.
So I'm lazy.
I never use incognito mode.
But your laziness is going to come back to bite me one day.
Oh, yeah.
I need my sons to have already been exposed to porn, and then I'll be fine.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Because now they've never been exposed to it. So
Yeah, somebody else do it.
Well, yeah.
Take it off your plate.
Well,
you got too much on your plate. Somebody else
someone expose my sons to
porn.
porn.
Get this off my plate, please, and explain to them what they can do with it.
And then let me know so
Yeah.
I can stop being paranoid.
Yeah, and let me know how they handle it and which way to go.
Bye-bye.